Okay, good morning to those of you in the room and those of you in cyberspace. We had a wonderful day yesterday, which we tried to summarize a little bit of what we heard. We had a wonderful kickoff yesterday with Roger Martella and then Juliet and some wonderful questions, I thought. And then our plenary panel. So we had all of the high level, big picture thinking, and then we heard from two wonderful speakers following lunch. We heard from Scott Lundgren and then from Heidi. Oh my, forgetting some of the what we heard yesterday. King, yes, forgive me. And then went into our first expert panel. So it was a very, very full day yesterday. Today is a half day, but it's just as full. So I want to welcome everybody today too, and we're going to turn this over to Professor Jonathan Deason, who has had a long pedigree on issues related to this meeting. And we first met in the context of U.S. Department of the Interior quite some time ago. But John has been a longtime partner with us on some of these symposia, so we're very, very appreciative. So I would like to recognize particularly the Environmental and Energy Management Institute as a co-sponsor, as well as ELI and George Washington University Law School. And yesterday's lunch, GHD, if they're in the room, we were very appreciative of that as well. So John is co-director of the Environmental and Energy Management Institute and lead professor of the Environmental and Energy Management Institute graduate program at George Washington University. In fact, the group did conduct a meeting at in the engineering building a few years back. Prior to joining GW, John was vice president of environmental affairs at the American Road and Transportation Builders Association, a federation of 7,000 organizations engaged in transportation construction. Before that, he was director of the Office of Environmental Policy and Compliance at the U.S. Department of Interior, where he managed 9 regional offices across the nation and 7 staff divisions in Washington, D.C. And that's the context that we first met. So I'm very, very happy to introduce John. After his comments, I'll do a quick rendition of where we're headed today, and then I'll introduce Emily Fisher, and she will introduce the panel. So John, welcome.
Well, I prepared some comments for this little opening talk, but it seems a little silly because this is more informal than I had expected. I think the last time I'm not sure with Barbara, but I think we were in the moot court. One time we were in the Marvin Center. So yeah, we have been. So as Barbara said, I've been hanging around a long time. You know, I used to work at Interior, and I used to teach here as an adjunct professor. And so I was telling Tim and Emily that after work, sometimes I would walk over here and teach, and I'd be walking back to my car. I parked in the basement of Interior, and I was thinking, wow, this is so wonderful. You know, this campus and being so close to Interior, I wouldn't mind doing this full time. And so eventually I did. It took a while to get that, figured out, but I did. So I've been working with NRD, I guess, 35 years or something like that, so it's really been good. And Barbara has been a key because she really, my vision of Barbara is that she tries to reduce conflict. She tries to get all the parties working together, partnering, not in conflict. And with NRD, there has been historically a lot of conflict, because so much money is involved, potentially. I think these symposia provide a real good forum for discussing reasonable, predictable, and transparent practices while allowing flexibility to meet the requirements. I was looking at the agenda. I apologize, I wasn't here yesterday. I was planning to be here all day, but I was telling Barbara, we have the European Commission coming here on Monday. And I got all wrapped up in that yesterday, and I just couldn't make it over here. But looking at the agenda, I see we're going to be taking a look at best proposed practice framework for climate change and extreme weather events, and address NRD in that context. I think that's the main theme for this morning, and take a look at actions that could be taken within that framework. We're going to follow up yesterday's session by looking at recent shifts in public policies and corporate priorities in light of the increasing challenges of climate change, including voluntary action and public-private collaborations. As always, we're looking for new ways to address the complex challenges protecting our precious natural resources and manage them in the face of often competing priorities. I don't know how many are on the live stream, but I know that this interest is not just in this subject, is of interest in the United Kingdom, other places across Europe, and other places in the world. So it's really not just United States, it's really international. You know, it's a multidisciplinary, it's all the things we love, working with people and working with natural resources. So I'm really glad to be a part of it, and looking forward to our discussions today.
Thank you. So yes, just to make a comment, I think the group, everyone is aware that the group has a very active program in the European Union, and our purview has changed tremendously over the years as the field has changed, and our purview has been global for quite some time because our companies operate in so many countries, and Roger mentioned yesterday, GE is in 170 countries. So a lot of what we discuss, even though today is a more specific discussion, but a lot of the overarching issues that we heard yesterday are pertinent to the field. And one of the things about reducing conflict so that we can have maximum progress is, in fact, John, a very high priority of this group and always has been.